Hey guys, welcome to this lesson on what is a niche. So if you're wondering what exactly a niche is, it's a good question to have because it's kind of a confusing topic when you're first getting into high-ticket dropshipping. So I'm here on hows.com to show you kind of what different niches are and how to understand categories of products within retailing. So when you're talking niches, you're basically talking product categories. And you're talking retail merchandising. So retail merchandising comes down to main categories and subcategories, and then more broad categories and micro categories. So I'm going to try to show you guys around this website and explain what is a main category versus a subcategory versus a micro category versus a broader category. So when we're talking really broad, let's just say hows.com, right? How is Hows branded? Hows is branded as a main, really broad home website. So it's like everything under the sun when it comes to home. But it's not really anything outside of home. If you take a look at Amazon, how is Amazon branded? Amazon is branded even broader than that. It's everything under the sun. So if you look at, their departments, you can see that they sell clothing, shoes, jewelry, movies, music, games, electronics, smart home. Hows is just home, gardening tools, maybe some other stuff related to that. So Amazon's even broader than Hows. Hows is just in the home, but then just in the home, if you go under their shop by department section, you can see that there's tons of categories in the home. And so going from home down one category would be going to kitchen and dining, bath, bedroom, living, lighting. So these are kind of broad categories right here, kitchen and dining, because they take up a lot of different categories within them. And then if you go down within those, then you'll start getting into product categories, but you might not even get into a direct product category quite yet. And I'll explain that a little bit here too. Look at kitchen and dining, and then the next one down is kitchen and dining furniture. But you can't just walk into a store and say, hey, I'm looking for a kitchen and dining furniture. Because they're going to look at you a little bit confused. They're going to say, okay, what do you want? A table, a chair, what exactly, a hutch? What exactly are you looking for? So if you click kitchen and dining furniture, you'll be able to see what are the actual categories of kitchen and dining furniture. And these are product categories. Bar stools. That's a product category. It's a bar stool. But watch, if you click down even further into bar stools, you can see there's different types and styles of bar stools. You can filter between styles. There's contemporary bar stools, eclectic bar stools, modern bar stools, traditional bar stools, Asian bar stools, beach style bar stools, and so on and so forth. There's seat heights, there's counter height bar stools, bar height bar stools, adjustable bar stools, extra tall bar stools, short bar stools. There's frame finishes, there's chrome, black, silver, color. There's sets of 2, sets of 3, sets of 4. And there's features, bar stools that come with swivels, bar stools that come with footrests, nailhead trim bar stools, padded seat bar stools. And there's back height, high back bar stools, backless bar stools, low back bar stools. And stool base, there's 4 legs, pedestal, sled, and tripod. So I just want you guys to understand that a product category or a niche, right, is going to consume many different variations of products. And so when it comes to retail merchandising, you're going to have to think about building a website around one general category and then being that go-to website to be able to help somebody filter through different types of that product that we just went through here, style, seat height, frame finish, color, so on and so forth, so that they can find the best one for their needs and then provide the content to back up their questions and that they have, the Q&A that they have during the buying process. You also need to make your website fast and easy to use and all that stuff, but we'll go more into that in more sections. So this is a niche, guys. This is a niche. Bar stools. You can sell bar stools online. Let's go back and look at some more. Sinks and faucets. A little bit broad, right? Let's see what types of sinks and faucets there are. Kitchen sinks, kitchen faucets, pot fillers, bar sinks, bar faucets, kitchen fixture parts, so on and so forth. Water filtration systems, garbage disposals. These are all categories that you can sell. So have a look around Hows, guys, and start getting yourself familiar with product categories and subcategories and variations of those products. That'll help you understand what you're going to be getting yourself into when it comes to organizing your website, your collections and your products and your variations for your products. You're also going to better learn how products are, and then that will help you sell them later on as well. So that's what a niche is, guys. It's a product category, and every niche is different. Every product category is different. Some are more complicated, some are less complicated. Some have, different styles, some have different sizes, some have different colors, some have different model names. Every niche is different, and so when you're considering what to get into, I highly recommend looking at niches that are unique and not just everyday things, but at the same time, everyday things can also be very profitable. You just have to be the best at selling them. So hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, comment below, and I'll see you in the next lesson.
Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be talking about niche selection pricing. It's really important that you get your pricing right when you're choosing a niche to sell in, and I really wanted to drive this point home that if you don't get this right, it could make or break your business. So check it out. You have two options with dropshipping. You have low price products or high price products, okay? These are some examples of low price products that people try to sell online. If you look at that picture right there, you'll see a lot of different outdoor gear and little accessories like flashlights, chargers, pocket knives, gloves, motorcycle helmets, boots, all this stuff right here. Each of these things is going to cost probably under $200 to sell. And with that said, low price products equals lower profit per sale, okay? Just the bottom line. You need to sell more quantity to pay for the marketing costs and to make a profit, right? And the average profit margin with dropshipping is somewhere around 20 to 30%. It can be higher, but usually that's what it is. And so that means that you can sell $20 products and profit $6 per sale, which is not much if you think about it, because you got to pay for ads, and so that's probably going to eat up, your ad spend is going to eat up the rest of that. Or you can sell $2,000 products and profit $600 per sale, and that will well and easily pay for the ads. So it makes sense to choose a niche, a product category to sell with an average price point of $500 to $5,000. Okay, that's high ticket dropshipping. That's where I suggest you always start. And here's some examples. Take a look at this picture. You have anything in the living room of your home. You have a chandelier, you have coffee tables, you have sofas, you have chairs, you have accent tables, you have bookcases, you have all sorts of lighting in the background, you have drapes, you have rugs, you have flooring, you have wallpaper. So all these different types of products usually cost a lot of money for the home. It's a great place to start when you're talking about high-ticket dropshipping niches. So the bottom line is it takes the same amount of effort to sell expensive products that it does to sell low-price products. So that's why I always tell everybody, stick to high-ticket dropshipping. Choose a niche, $500 to $5,000. With that said, guys, we'll see you in the next lesson. Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to be talking about your target market that you want to reach out to. So this is really important. You want to get this right because it's important that you are trying to sell products to people who have the money to buy them and are willing and able to purchase the product and are actually actively looking for that product online. So this can make or break your business as well. So I want you to definitely take notes with this video and make sure that it makes sense to you as you're doing your product research. So let's get into the presentation here. The people we want to reach out to the most are the upper middle class. It's people that make $100,000 or more per year in the household together, okay? So that's important because that means that whatever they're going to spend on that product that you're selling, that $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 product, it's not the last dollar that they have. In fact, they have a lot of disposable income. So buying that product is more just like buying a toy for somebody who makes a lot less. Do not target broke college students, whatever you do. I used to sell products online where kids that were going to school needed them. And it was sad sometimes when you get inquiries about the products because I knew that they were literally spending like their allowance money on the products, and it was a pain in the butt, and they were some of the worst customers I could ever have dealt with. You want your business to be passive, okay? And the easier the customer is that you have to deal with, the more passive and happy you're gonna be about the business, okay? Generally speaking, people who make more money can afford expensive stuff, so that's the key. Your ideal customer isn't just the target, it isn't just the upper middle class. It's also a baby boomer. It's somebody who's older, who's spent a lot of time and done a lot of purchasing, who's comfortable buying things online, and is older. So they're not going to freak out. They've been through all these situations before. They've had to deal with stuff, and they know how to deal with it, and they're easier to deal with. This is an example of what a baby boomer might look like. A baby boomer was born between the years 1946 and 1964. They're either retired or coming into retirement, and they usually, drive nicer cars. They have houses. They have all sorts of things, toys. They have all sorts of friends and family members all over the place, right? So it's a very well-established individual. So you got to ask the question, why baby boomers, right? Well, they're the biggest generation. There's tons of them out there. After World War II, when they were all born, 46 to 64, they became the biggest generation, and there hasn't been a bigger generation since then. They are also retiring in huge numbers. So that's key, that if they're going into retirement, that means they're going to have a lot of money from their retirement accounts to spend on things. And so you want to be able to sell things to those types of people. So the more money that they have to spend, the more sales you're going to be able to make. So that's why you should target these people. And you should not just target baby boomers, but baby boomers who are upper middle class baby boomers. Your target market could include men or women, but your messages must match the target customer. So if you're selling products, that are based on a home niche, just understand that a lot of women buy things online too, right? So your messages need to match that consumer and what they're looking for. Think about what the day in the life of your target buyer looks like and feels like. You're going to be choosing a niche and developing marketing messages around that person and around their lives. So when you're really getting the feel for a niche, get a feel for the people that buy that product. Maybe research on YouTube and type in the keywords to that product and see the people that are doing the videos. Those are the same people that are going to be buying from you, and understand them. Are these people that you want to work with? Because that's who you're going to have to be working with. Where do they hang out online and offline? If you can find those places that they hang out online and offline, then you know where you can get targeted traffic from to your website. So this goes for dropship sites. This also goes for affiliate sites. Affiliate sites even more, because you want to build out websites based not just on commerce, but also on content. So understanding where they hang out online and offline really does help you build your business for the long term. And it'll also get you lots of referrals, which is key. So think about that. Forums that they hang out on, YouTube channels that they go to, social media pages, and search engines that they use. Wonder to yourself, what movies do they watch and what music do they listen to? Because all these things really matter. If you understand your target customer more, then you'll be able to understand who's buying your products, and then you'll be able to sell better to them. And you also understand beforehand if you really want to work with that individual and if that type of customer is going to be easy to market to. Knowing all these things before beginning will really help you design your business around their wants and needs, and that's the key here. You want to find a good business market fit. When you find that good fit, then you can build a business that really works for the long run. And that's it, guys. So I want you to take that into consideration, do some research and figure that out, and apply that to your niche selection, and choose a niche that you think is going to target best the upper middle class baby boomer, and find those places online that they hang out, and then go out there and research them and understand them a little bit more before you get started, before you choose your niche. With that, we'll see you in the next video.
Hey guys, welcome to this lesson on generic brands versus name brands. The reason I'm doing this lesson is to help you understand the difference and why you'll be targeting more generic brands with your high-ticket dropshipping store, and why your customers are going to be okay and excited to buy those generic brands from your store as opposed to going and buying name brands. So some of the benefits of buying generic brands from name brands include lower pricing, and that means a lot, obviously, to most people out there. If you're going to buy a name brand version of any product, it's probably going to cost 20 to 30% more than the generic brand, and that's on average. And these are some examples of generic brands versus name brands. You'll see these in any store, any shopping market out there. Usually they're private labeled from the actual shopping market, that kind of stuff. But they're just going to cost less and generally be about the same quality. So that's the key, is the quality has to remain similar, right? If this was such lower quality than that, then obviously people would just go for the name brand. And some people still do go for the name brand just because they like the extra good quality it comes with. But people that are on a budget, or they can't, afford the $6.29 Bayer, they'll go for the $1.14 aspirin. And generally speaking, the aspirin that's $1.14 will kill their headache just as well as the Bayer that is $6.29. So
you'll be targeting suppliers that offer these types of generic brands. They still have a brand name, but it's just not very well known and it's not very recognized and stuff like that. They have a similar product to what their counterpart, their competitor in that industry is that has the name brand, but they don't have that. And so by carrying a bunch of generic brand products in your store, you'll be able to offer various options for your customers, and they'll find your store and they'll see you as kind of this like wholesale to the public generic brand store, as opposed to this store that has a bunch of different name brands in it. It's going to make it easier for them to shop because they have no brand affiliations already. They have no brand loyalty. And when somebody has brand loyalty, it's really hard to tear them away from a brand. Like if you've been using Bayer your whole life, and it's killed every single headache you've ever had, you might probably just stick with Bayer and not take the chance of going with a generic brand and having a less desirable experience, right? So people that have brand loyalty are hard to tear away from those name brand products. Now, if you're in a niche with a lot of brand loyal brands, like big brands that have a ton of loyalty in them, it's going to be hard to tear people away from them, but you can still compete. You just want to make sure there's enough generic brands that are competing with each other in that niche that are going to be able to have almost like an entire sub-market to them, right? A great example of this is the electric bicycle niche. And the reason I bring that up is because there are a ton of products that are made by super expensive name brands. And some of these name brands have actually formed because they were generic brands to start with. But what happened in this industry was really really interesting. When it first got started out, it was just the name brands that were selling the bicycles. And then you had a bunch of generic brands jump in and make all these bicycles and make a ton of money from them, selling through Amazon and selling through Alibaba and things like that, and niche dropship stores. And then a bunch of the name brands started catching on to the huge rush of sales that was going on with these electric bicycles, and they started selling them themselves. So now you have big name brands in the bicycle industry like Giant, Trek, and you have all the big name brands. They're making their own version of electric bicycles now. It's pretty interesting. You even have big companies like Yamaha that is known for their motorbikes, making e-bikes. You have Audi, you have BMW, but all these different weird brands like Magnum, Admotor, Phantom, Vision, Crusher, Fly-On, Flaunt. I've never even heard of these before in my life. These are brand new brands that popped up because this industry got so big in the last 5 years, that all these brands are just brand new. And so a brand new brand that doesn't have years and years and years of spending tons of money on marketing and getting people to buy their product and brand awareness is technically a generic brand, right? Until they have all that brand awareness built. And until they have the brand awareness built, somebody is less likely to go with them as they are to go with any of their competition, unless they stand out. Unless, like a high bike, for instance, unless they stand out in the absolute amazing quality that they've built, and the quality of a performance that they provide. Like the Stromer is one of the highest quality electric bikes. You're never going to be able to dropship this brand though. It's a German engineered brand. This is something that only is sold in bike shops. So there's all different parts of this industry, but the greatest thing about this industry is that there are tons of generic brands you can sell. So it's definitely a great niche to go into. The only thing about this is that it's a very difficult product to maintain and service and stuff like that. So if you don't have a bike shop, you can't really provide the service. So you're gonna have to partner with some bike shops, and bike shops don't really like online sellers because they take away from their margins. So just understand that. But yeah, just so you know, name brands are always going to cost the customer more, but when they get hooked on them, it's really hard to pull them away, because name brands, generally speaking, spend a lot more money on the quality of the product and the quality of the customer experience and everything like that. So just keep in mind that if you're dealing in an industry with a lot of name brands, it's going to be difficult to compete. Just make sure that your niche is going to have plenty of generic brands that you can draw from and start accounts with, so that you'll be able to compete there. Okay, so don't get into something like televisions, for instance. I'll show you an example of a brand, of a category with lots of name brands. You have televisions where you have like Samsung, you have Sony, you have what's another one? Yeah. So basically, like TVs, like people are gonna buy a TV, they're probably gonna buy one of those name brands, right? And if they buy a generic, most likely than not, the generic is probably going to come straight from China. And
And most of the big box stores are going to sell these name brands and stuff like that. Again, and it's also a very fragile product. I wouldn't try to dropship big screen TVs. It's just not a great idea. All right, guys. So I hope that it makes sense. And when you get into your industries and you start doing your research, just make sure you understand it's really important to have a bunch of brands that are generic that you haven't really heard of and your customers don't mind. Like if this one's out of stock, they don't mind going with this one because it looks practically the same and it's about the same price point, maybe even a little less, you know, and it's got about the same features. It's a different brand, but whatever, I don't even know this brand in the first place, so let's just go with this one, right? That's why it's really cool having different generic brands people to go with, because there's no brand loyalty. They can hop between products if they want. Hope that makes sense. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Hey guys, welcome to the lesson on search volume, trends, and seasonality. In this video, my goal is to explain to you what search volume is and how it can determine the success of your niche research and the niche you want to get into, and how to determine search volume as well as trends and seasonality. All right, so let's get into it. I'm going to use the first example of electric bikes and just type this into Google in the search bar, and it's giving me the search volume results right here. And that's because I downloaded a tool called Keywords Everywhere. Now this is a Chrome extension, so it only works with Google Chrome browsers. But if you type into Google Keywords Everywhere, click the link in the description, you will get that. And so Keywords Everywhere is a cool tool because it's free and it actually works with Google really easily. So for instance, if you just type in here, you'll see all the search results for the relevant searches. And if you enter and see and wait a minute, it will show up as well on the right hand side. And so you'll be able to see related keywords and what people also searched for, some long tail keywords and stuff like that, which is great. Because what we really want to see is what's getting the most search volume and how you can compare that and stuff like that, and how you can try to find niche ideas. So like for instance, if you just put bikes, you see it's 246, but electric bikes is 165. So it narrows down a little bit, and then you put like electric printing bikes, for instance, and now you got 2,900 per month. So you know, there's sub niches, and they're gonna have a lot less search volume, and then there's niches that are broader that are gonna have a lot more search volume. That's usually how that works. So it's an easy way to determine search volume. Now, what I usually suggest is that you enter a niche that's got over 50,000 searches per month. So if the niche you're interested in doing a store on is under that much, then you should probably niche up a little bit. Electric bikes is good, 165,000, but you got to know that there's a lot of different types of electric bikes. So there's like folding electric bikes, there's folding fat tire electric bikes, folding full-size electric bikes, 540 searches per month. There's also electric fat tire bikes. These are all like sub keywords, right? So you'll have all these different sub keywords to look through if you wanted to get into that niche. So definitely download Keywords Everywhere. You can get an idea of all the different niches that you might be interested in searching for. Another great tool is KWFinder. You can click the link in the description and sign up for a free trial of KWFinder. And after the free trial, it costs $29 a month. And that's a great tool to use as well, because it's going to show you not only the relevant keywords, but it's also going to show you the competition on the first page of Google, and it will show you the search volume trends and seasonality as well. So let's check it out for electric bikes. And you can search all over the world, any language if you want. You can search just in the USA if you want to as well. All right, so here you can see that electric bikes, it's telling me anywhere in the world it's actually 27,000 search volume, so it's a lot less. I'm not exactly sure why that is. But it is showing that it trends pretty evenly across the year. It dips a little bit in the fall, so that's good to know. And the keyword difficulty is just for the SEO ranking difficulty, so it's pretty difficult. And the average CPC is important to know as well, because that will tell you how much you're going to have to spend on ads in order to get sales. Now, one free tool to explore seasonality, which is really cool, is Google Trends. So over here, you can just type electric bikes and hit enter, and this will tell you a lot better what the search volume trends are throughout the year. So you can see that It's the highest in the summer right now, and it's pretty low across the winter, which makes sense, and then it peaks even higher in, I would say, like the spring or early summer. Okay, and if you look at the past 5 years, you can see that this niche is trending up a bit still. So it looks like it kind of caught on some steam first in 2017, which is right when I was in the middle of selling them and just kind of like really doing well. And then throughout 2018, I think we sold the store right around early 2018 when it dipped low, and then it dipped really high that summer, and so and then it dipped low again, and it's even higher right now. So it's definitely a trending niche. It's still trending up, which is great to see. So if you're thinking about getting into it, it's a good one to get into. Google Trends is awesome because it'll give you interest by sub-region. So it tells you that right now Washington, Oregon, Vermont, Utah, and Idaho are seeing the most search volume for it, which is great. It's like summertime up there now. People are probably really interested. It's also going to tell you what the breakout related topics are. Rad Power Bikes, which is bicycle store in Seattle. Self-balancing scooters are still really popular. Lime, which I believe is a ride-sharing company. Jump Bikes might be a brand new brand that's being interested in. And Super 73 I know is a brand of bicycles. Related queries, juice bikes, Saunders, very popular. Best electric bikes. Makes a lot of sense, guys. So definitely check out those tools. I think the most important thing is that you choose a niche that has a high enough search volume and that you explore the trends and seasonality so you have an idea if that niche is trending up or straight. I definitely wouldn't choose a niche that's trending down because it's probably like going out of fashion or something like that. And as far as seasonality, just be prepared for it. So know that it's going to dip. If you're going to get into electric bikes, know it's going to dip in the winter. Be prepared for that. Save up your money from your profits in the summer and take a break during the winter and kind of relax a little bit. But be prepared for heavy sales from spring all the way through till the end of summer, and it's going to dip sharply in the fall. You'll see a spike again Black Friday, right around November. It's pretty common in every niche to see that, and then a small one for Christmas again, but then it might dip really deep in the deep of winter. So just understand seasonality. Seasonality is pretty common amongst most niches, except for indoor niches are usually a lot less seasonal. So explore different things, and I'll be showing you more in depth on how to do this in later lessons as well. But for now, just understand that and kind of the requirements, the bottom lines for search volume for a niche that you want to get into. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next lesson. Hey guys, welcome to the lesson on future competitors. So in this lesson, I want to show you what your future competitors are going to look like and what you need to look for in an e-commerce website in order to make sure that they are actually somebody you should model after. This will prepare you for what's to come in the niche research module, where you're going to actually dive into the web, into Google Shopping, and try to find these niche store competitors. So you kind of have to have an idea of what they'll look like. So first of all, on the homepage here, you'll see that this is ecommerceparadise.com. And on free guides up here at the top, you can search all of our free guides up here. And there's a couple specific ones. One is the top 10 best dropshipping products guide, and the other one is the best high-ticket dropshipping e-commerce sites examples. So I'm constantly updating all my free guides with the most up-to-date information, and so you can check back here routinely and get more updates. But if you go to the top 10 best dropshipping products guide and scroll down, you'll see that not only are there the products, but also examples of profitable stores. These are actually stores that are being run currently and sell high-ticket dropshipping products, and they're examples of really good, really well done niche stores. So with that said, let's take a look at a couple of them. First one I'll show you is Good Wine Coolers. This is a great one. It's been around for a long time, and it's a website basically selling wine coolers. It's a niche store. So yeah, they do really well. And get an example of what a really simple Shopify store looks like. It doesn't have to be super beautiful, fancy, really professional looking or anything, and looks decent enough, it's good enough, it'll sell. And this is the kind of thing you want to look for. You want to look for a Shopify store, number one. So make sure it's Shopify, and the way you'll know it's Shopify is by the link structure. So if you go and click on a product page, the link structure should show, and this is like actually kind of weird, but this is a product page where the link structure is /collections, which is kind of weird, but that's okay. Actually, I can't see what I'm looking at right here, so I'll move the thing down a little bit so you can see it. There we go. Yeah, on most websites, it'll show /product/, this one /collection/, but that's another thing. So when you're looking at any collections on a website, that's a Shopify store, it's going to always say /collections/ and then the name of the collection. So if it's not Shopify, it will show something else. Okay, so just know that collections is Shopify. And again, if you go to products, most stores will say products/, this one says collection/, I'm not sure why. My computer. So let's look at buymassagetables.com. This is an older site, built many years ago, still being ran, selling massage tables. It's a very simple Shopify store. Okay. So again, you look at the home page. It's pretty simple. It's probably in the same structure here. It's probably a Shopify store. But to make sure, you can go and make sure that the link is /collections/ and then go to a product page, and it should be /product/. And if it's not, that's fine too. /collection/ might be a way that, you know, Shopify is restructuring sites now, which is totally cool. But that's how it works. So if it's this collections, it's Shopify. You want to find really good Shopify stores, but the reason why it's Shopify is that, like, you know, it's a newer site. You want to make sure it's fairly new. It's not like super old. You also want to make sure it's a niche store. They're selling just one main product category with like a bunch of subcategories in it. You don't want to look at stores that are broad stores. And the next article I'll show you has an example of those. So the best high-ticket dropshipping e-commerce site examples. I've listed out a number of ways to see if, you know, what a really good store is like. And these are some examples of broad stores and also other types of stores too. But one good example is like Tiger Direct. If I were to go to tigerdirect.com, it's not a niche name, right? They're not selling tigers. And they're blocking my IP address, which is fine because I'm in Indonesia. Another good one to look at is Wayfair. And this is a great one to look at because Wayfair and Houzz.com are both broad home stores. And so broad home stores are really interesting because they have tons of categories in the home. And whereas, yes, it's true that, you know, there's lots of categories in the home that you could sell, and you could sell them under one site. These sites are not easy to run, they're not easy to build, and they're very expensive. And there's lots of suppliers, and oftentimes there's no map pricing on furniture. So even though there's tons of categories, tons of products, it can get quite confusing. It's hard to run, and it's hard to scale something like this. So don't look at stores that are broad like this because they've been around for a long time. More likely than not, they have some sort of fulfillment warehouse or office location. They might get special pricing from their suppliers because they do so much volume, and they might have special discounts with their freight companies as well because they do so much volume there. They might also have sales teams and stuff like that, so it's not a really great thing to model after. So with that said, look at niche stores. I'll show you a couple more examples of niche stores. This is one that I ran and actually sold myself, so this is a really good one to look at. Very niche specific stores selling just 3 product categories and, you know, maybe 12 suppliers. So again, another great one to model after. This is another store that I sold, and sticking to one main category and a bunch of subcategories within that, and maybe 20 suppliers. Okay, so this is the sort of thing you're looking for. These are very unique themes. They're very simple, yet they're unique to Shopify. And if they have some sort of Shopify badge on them, then you'll know automatically it's Shopify. Another way to know it's Shopify is by going all the way through the checkout process. So going and clicking Add to Cart. And then clicking Checkout. The Shopify checkout feature is quite unique. As opposed to other e-commerce stores that might have it all on one page, it's actually a funnel style checkout. So you have a 3-step funnel where you get contact information plus shipping address first, and then you continue to the shipping, and then you get the billing details and payment details, and then it checks out, and then you get to choose your shipping method and all that, and then you go to the thank you page after that. So that's the Shopify checkout process. If it looks like this, it's Shopify for sure. Okay, guys, so just want you to know that that's what you're looking for in your future competitors. And all right, guys, and one last thing when you're looking at online-only competitors, the reason why you're looking at these niche stores is that they're not going to have a physical retail location. you're going to really want to work with stores that don't have any kind of an address on their website that leads to a physical retail storefront or a warehouse. So if you do find an address, just copy it, go to Google, and paste it into the search bar, and it should show you what that address is. So you see here that Electric Bike City is now owned by a company called Circuit Specialists. They're who bought it from us. So they actually have a big warehouse. So they might have a competitive advantage on some of those brands, although I don't think that they've grown the store a whole lot since I sold it to them. But you just kind of want to be aware of that they might, now they're able to stock some of them and stuff like that. So just keep that in mind. Let's look at Mobility Ready and see. Yeah, they don't have any kind of an address listed here. Another place you can see if they don't have it on their homepage, which if they had a storefront, they would have it on their homepage. But if they don't, you can go to their contact page or about page or return policy or shipping policy. Any of those pages will tell you where it ships from and where to ship it back to in case there's an issue, and they will provide an address usually. If they don't, then they're obviously online only. And if they don't have any kind of an address on there, even like a fulfillment warehouse, that's perfect. Because online only means that they're using the supplier's policies, their return policy, and their warehouse to not only ship and fulfill the orders, but also handle returns, refunds, exchanges. So that's really great. So, this is obviously an online only site still. I've got a good wine coolers, which is another example using in this video. Usually I look in the footer first to try to find their address. I don't see it. So again, about, contact, returns, shipping. Let's try to find their address. Here's a showroom, and it looks so, yeah, they have a showroom address, which is interesting. So let's see if it's actual. 225, I have to type this in because they have some sort of a plug-in here. 225 Industrial Drive, Fredericksburg, Virginia. Looks like, and from the outside I just want to gauge whether it's actually some sort of a UPS store, shipping address, virtual office, that kind of thing, or if that it's actually a retail location. Because usually what the suppliers will do is they'll give bigger pricing discounts and things like that to actual retail store locations, whereas with virtual offices or UPS stores, things like that, obviously it's not your address, it's a company, even a fulfillment warehouse, they're not going to give you pricing discounts based on that kind of an address. So it looks like it's not, and I'm not sure what they're doing there. They're kind of telling their customer that they have a showroom, but I'm almost sure that they're not going to allow people to come by, appointment only. So it's really just a small office space you may have rented and purchased one wine cooler with a few accessories just to sort of make it look pretty. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about that too much. They don't have a physical retail location, so it's good. Last one more example from my best e-commerce sites. One is Bath Vault. No address down here. About us. No address. Contact us. No address. Shipping. No address. Yeah, so it's fine. So that's also a great site to model after. So just understand that. Once you gauge that the style of the site is similar to one of these Shopify stores, that's a newer site, you can model after it, built by somebody who's doing the same business model. And then you can make sure that it's one of these online-only stores by making sure they don't have any kind of an address. That's a physical retail store location. So it's really simple. Once you get those two figured out, you're good. So move on to the next lesson. All right, welcome to the training on dropship-friendly suppliers and how to know if they're dropship-friendly. So on your competitor's website, go to the one of their best-selling products, okay? And the way you can tell their best-selling products is just usually go to their homepage and choose one of the first products they list off the homepage, because usually it's like a bestsellers category or something like that. So I chose this one because it's in sort of a lower price range and they had the most reviews. Okay, so the ones with the most reviews are usually the ones that are the best sellers. So I went ahead and chose that one. And what you do is you take the name of the product and you type it into Google and you try to find all the other niche stores that are selling it. Now, Google Shopping works great for this, and I would recommend Google Shopping, but you can also use Google Organics, right? Either one's fine. So you want to just go through the organic listings and go through each of these websites and see if they are online only retailers. Since this is a niche I've sold in for a long time, I know exactly which ones are online only, because I've done the research before. But it's pretty simple to do, so just do that. Same research we talked about in the last video. And you'll find these stores, right? And what you want to make sure is that the same brand's products are being listed across multiple of the online only competitors that have similar looking stores. Okay, and the cool thing about doing this is that then you can look at their brands list, and any brands that aren't on that original website, you can add them to your brands list as well, which will result in having a kind of a master list of all the brands that are available in that niche. And if any of the websites have less brands than the other ones, maybe they're newer, or maybe they've gone through and found that some of those suppliers suck and the other ones are much more profitable, so you can get an idea there. So yeah, there's lots of these e-bike websites, so be prepared if you want to enter this niche that it's very competitive now. But regardless of that, I have determined that this extreme brand is a dropship friendly brand, okay? Because it's sold across multiple websites. So you can do the same thing with any of these brands. What you want to do is go to the product listing. Let's just do it for like Big Cat, for instance. And take the product name, copy it, go to Google, and paste it. You want to be aware of any brands that sell on their own website and maybe are offering a lower price than what you see on your competitor site. So if you see $18.95 here, you might want to look at their website really quick and just make sure, are they selling at $18.95 also, or are they selling it for less? Obviously that's a big deal, because then, yeah, see, they're selling it for $10.40 on their own website. Crazy, right? So it's difficult to compete with the supplier that wants to sell direct to the public lower than what you can. And so when you go to reach out for an account, you can kind of bring that up and say, hey guys, I did notice on your website that you are selling this direct to the public at a lower price than what is available on the other websites, and that sucks. I would hope that you're willing to raise that up to MAP pricing. But, it is what it is. Let's see here. $15.95 it says on Google. Let's see if that matches their website. Yeah, so $18.95 on the competitor, $15.95 on Google. Who knows what the deal is there? Regardless of that, let's go ahead and look around a little bit more. Electric Bike Review is actually a review site. I'm not sure about eBike Direct. No, that's an older site. You can look at that. Electro Bike World looks like a Shopify store. Take a look. Certainly is. That's not the actual product though. This is the actual product. $18.95. Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that this is a dropship friendly brand because it's on multiple of these little e-bike websites. Okay. So it's pretty easy to determine this kind of a thing across multiple niches. Here's another competitor. So yep, that's how you do it. So just type those product names into Google, find other sites, and if it's available in multiple stores, then guaranteed it's a dropship friendly brand. See you guys in the next lesson. Hey, welcome to the lesson on brainstorming ideas. So to get ideas for products that are profitable before you even start searching them on Google, go to websites that are broad. And one of those is Houzz. Another one that's good is Amazon. You can look at eBay. You can look at Wayfair. You can look at tons of other e-commerce stores. So the deal is that these websites will have lots of different product categories and ideas. So just go through them. Drill down in the menus to the most narrowest things you can possibly drill down to. Like if we just look at furniture, for instance, we can drill down to living room furniture, and we can drill down to media storage, and we can go into let's see, entertainment centers and TV stands. So this might be a good idea. So what you would do is just take that and plug it into Google and see what you get. Okay. Google Shopping is a great place to look. Again, these are category-based keywords. These are not product-based keywords. So you're going to get a lot more broad sites than you are going to narrow sites. But this really depends on the niche as well. So obviously entertainment centers, TV stands, you can get a lot of broad stores that aren't drop shipping. But if you go down deep into, like, for instance, fireplaces, electric fireplaces, bioethanol firebox. Let's see what Google has to say about that. Bioethanol firebox. Okay. So you just want to kind of gauge and see if there's any of those online-only stores, and look in the ads, right? I'm in Indonesia, so it's going to show me those. But look in the shopping ads and see if there's any niche stores that are selling in that category and get an idea. There's tons of ideas here. You can also view my blog at ecommerceparadise.com and the YouTube channel as well. I have a list of the top 10 dropshipping products, which actually has a lot more dropshipping products in there. And you can also look at the list of the best e-commerce sites for high-ticket dropshipping. You know, get ideas. Another great way is to go to the niches list. So I'll make sure that I put all the links to these in the description below. But if you view the niches list, it's basically a picture list of all these different niches that you can research on your own using the same methods that I teach you how to do in this course. And then go to the Masterclass and build your business. So tons of great ideas here, guys. You really don't need to brainstorm a whole lot. These are very profitable. However, there are a lot of niches that are outside this list that are profitable. So if you want to get more ideas, you can go to websites like Amazon and just drill down into their little weird corner categories. Like, let's just go to sports and outdoors and look at golf really quick or something. Try to think of ideas of products that are expensive. Let's see, I know. Rangefinders, you never know, maybe rangefinders are expensive. Yeah, they're sort of up there. So there might be some brands that sell rangefinders that you could get. Okay. So just an example, get some ideas there, guys, and start brainstorming niches and make your own little list of niches. In the next module, you're going to get access to my niche spreadsheet, so you can actually fill that in. And then you can start taking action. So I'm super excited to get you there. But first, move on to the next lesson and finish off this module. I'll see you there. All right, guys, congratulations. You've finished the high-ticket dropshipping niche selection guidelines module. And in this video, I just want to tell you what you need to be prepared for what's to come next. We're going to put all of this research that we now know how to do to work online. We're going to research deep into product niches. We're going to go deep into Google Shopping. We're going to go deep into the stores that we researched to find profitable stores with profitable suppliers, with profitable products. And we're going to take all that data and put it into spreadsheets so that we can make the best of all that research to build out a super optimized store from the beginning. You don't have to go the whole route of trial and error with every store you make. You can do a lot of research up front to find all the best selling and winning products and the best suppliers so that you can build a profitable store right off the bat and make sales faster that are more profitable and have a lot better time actually running your store than just kind of going at it blindly. So the whole point of this niche research process is to be prepared to build something much better so that when you do launch it, it's way, way, way more profitable than if you just were to launch with whatever and it started with whatever and shoot in the dark, throw everything against the wall, see what sticks and run from there. Instead, we're going to know what sticks already because our competitors have already proven what sticks. And so we're going to take that data, we're going to run with it. So I'll see you in the next module. I'm really excited, and let's get going.